The finish line blurred into a haze of sweat and screams as I collapsed onto the rain-slicked track, my lungs burning like they'd swallowed shards of glass. "You're done, Mikey. Done for good?" Brandon's voice had echoed in my head all those years ago, his hand shoving me away like I was yesterday's trash, right there under the floodlights of Yankee Stadium. But now, as my knees hit the dirt in Prospect Park, gasping for air I didn't deserve, there he was again, crouched beside me, his strong fingers gripping my shoulder, whispering, "Get up, Michael. You're not broken yet." I never thought I'd see Brandon Hale again. Not after the way he'd carved out my heart and left it bleeding on the steps of our old brownstone in Brooklyn. It was 2012, the summer before my senior year at NYU, when the world still felt like it could be ours. Two broke-ass kids chasing dreams in a city that chewed up romantics and spat out cynics. We met at a dive bar in the East Village, the kind with sticky floors and Pabst Blue Ribbon on tap for $3. I was nursing a watered-down whiskey, sketching graffiti tags in my notebook, pretending I was deeper than the existential dread gnawing at my gut. He slid onto the stool next to me, all broad shoulders and that crooked smile that could disarm a bomb, ordering a round with the confidence of someone who'd never known rejection. "You're drawing the wall behind the bar," he'd said, leaning in close enough that I could smell his cologne. Something woodsy, like pine after rain. "But you're missing the rat peeking out from the cooler." I laughed. A real one. The first in weeks since my folks back in Ohio had disowned me over a tearful coming-out call. "Observant. Artist's eye. Runner's eye," he corrected, flexing his calves under the bar like it was no big deal. "Gotta spot the details to shave seconds off your time. I'm Brandon. Track scholarship at Fordham. You? Michael. Undecided major. Decided broke." We talked until last call, about everything and nothing. His dreams of qualifying for the Olympics, my half-baked novel about a ghost haunting the subway lines. By dawn, we were stumbling into his tiny walk-up in Harlem, hands fumbling with zippers, lips crashing like we'd invented kissing. It wasn't just sex. It was salvation. In his arms, New York stopped being a monster and became a map to somewhere better. Those first months were electric. We'd run the bridges at sunrise, Brooklyn to Manhattan, hearts pounding in sync, then collapse into bed with takeout falafel and bootleg indie films. He pushed me literally and figuratively. "Faster, Mikey. Feel that burn? That's you getting stronger." I tease him about his protein shakes tasting like chalk, but damn if I didn't start lacing up my sneakers every morning. For the first time, I felt seen. Not as the queer kid from the Midwest who'd fled Bible Belt shame, but as someone capable of more. But cracks formed, subtle at first. Brandon's scholarship rode on his times, and the pressure turned him inward. Late nights became solitary runs. Our lazy Sundays devolved into arguments over his coach's demands. "You're holding me back," he snapped one evening, after I'd suggested he ease up on the miles. We were in the kitchen of our shared sublet now. He'd moved in after 3 months, boxes of running spikes mingling with my dog-eared Kerouac paperbacks. The words hung like smoke, but I swallowed them, chalking it up to stress. The real fracture came during Pride that June. The parade thrummed with rainbow flags and bass-heavy anthems, bodies slick with sweat and glitter under the midday sun. We marched hand in hand, Brandon's grip fierce, like he was claiming me against the world. But as the floats rolled by, a group of activists chained themselves to a barricade, chanting about marriage equality and the AIDS crisis legacy. One sign read, "Love wins, but only if we fight." Brandon's face tightened. He dropped my hand, muttering about drama queens stealing the spotlight. Back home, buzzed on cheap rose, I pressed him. "What's eating you? This is our fight too." He paced the living room, veins bulging in his neck. "It's not about us, Michael. It's about results. My coach says distractions kill dreams. And this scene, it's a distraction." I stared, the rose turning sour in my stomach. "You mean me? Us?" He stopped, eyes pleading. "No, babe, just tone it down. For now." That "for now" stretched into weeks of ghosting. Texts unanswered, runs solo. I poured it into my writing, pages filling with metaphors of bridges burning. Then, the ultimatum. A scout from USA Track and Field spotted him at a meet in Jersey. "This is it, Mikey," he said over lukewarm coffee, avoiding my gaze. "Relocation to Colorado Springs. Elite training camp. I leave in a month." My chest caved. "And us?" He reached for my hand, then pulled back. "Long distance? With my schedule? It'd kill us both. Better to end it clean." Clean. The word exploded from me. 3 years, Brandon. 3 years of me being your anchor, and you call it a distraction. His jaw set, that runner's resolve kicking in. "You're not getting it. This is my shot, the Olympics, gold medals, the whole American dream. I can't drag you into the uncertainty." I laughed, bitter and broken. "Drag me? I thought we were running together." We fought until the walls shook, words like shrapnel. He accused me of selfishness. I hurled back his hypocrisy, hiding behind the dream, while shoving away the one person who'd believed in him first. It ended on the fire escape, rain sheeting down, him yelling, "You're done, Mikey. Done for good," before storming out, leaving me soaked and shattered. He vanished into the ether, Colorado, then whispers of international meets. I clawed through graduation, buried myself in a dead-end copywriting gig at an ad agency in Midtown, the kind where creativity died under fluorescent lights. New York swallowed me whole. Hookups in dimly lit bars that tasted like ash. Runs that blurred into therapy sessions with my own ghosts. Therapy, actual therapy, came later. A no-nonsense shrink named Carla who chain-smoked menthols outside her Chelsea office and called bullshit on my self-pity. "You didn't lose love, Michael. You lost a boy who couldn't love himself enough to love you back." By 2025, I was 32, a ghost in my own life. The mirror showed a man softened around the edges. Extra weight from desk lunches, eyes dulled by endless scrolling. My novel? Trunked. My runs? Sporadic jogs around the reservoir, chasing echoes of what was. Until the flyer, Prospect Park Running Clinic, reclaim your stride. Beginners welcome. Coach, B. Hale. I crumpled it, heart slamming like a bad trip. Brandon Hale. Back in New York? Coaching? The universe had a sick sense of humor. I almost burned it. But dawn broke gray and insistent, and something, stubbornness, maybe masochism, laced my sneakers. The clinic met at the park's edge, a cluster of misfits stretching under bare oaks. And there he was, taller, leaner, salt and pepper threading his temples, but those blue eyes unchanged, scanning the group like a general mustering troops. Our gazes locked. Time folded. He froze mid-sentence, clipboard slipping from his fingers. "Michael!" I forced a nod, throat dry. "Hey, coach!" The group milled awkwardly as he recovered, barking orders with that old authority. But after warm-ups, he pulled me aside by the water fountain. "What the hell are you doing here?" "Same as them. Trying not to drown on land." Sarcasm my shield, always. He rubbed his neck, the gesture so familiar it ached. "Look about back then." "Don't." I cut him off, pulse racing. "Water under the bridge. Or Williamsburg, whatever." He searched my face. Something flickering. "Regret? Fair. But if you're here, you're all in. No half-assing." I signed up on the spot, hating myself a little. Sessions became ritual. Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6 a.m., Brandon's voice cutting through the fog like a lifeline I didn't want. "Knees high, Michael. Breathe from your gut." He'd demo form, body a machine of precision, quads flexing, breath steady, while I lagged, cursing my creaky joints. Off track, he was professional, distant. Chit-chat about form, nutrition apps, the perils of overpronation. No mentions of us, of the brownstone ghosts. But proximity is a thief. It stole glances, brushed fingers during stretches. One evening, post-run cool down. As the city hummed awake, he lingered. "You've got fire still, Mikey. Buried. But there. Don't call me that." But my voice cracked, betraying me. He nodded, stepping back. "Right, Michael, it is." Weeks blurred into progress. Miles ticked up, pounds shed. The group bonded. Divorced dads, corporate escapees, a trans teen named Alex who high-fived like it was warfare. Brandon shone as coach, patient with stragglers, fierce with potential. Watching him, I saw the man he'd become, scarred but solid. The Olympic dream traded for mentorship after a knee injury sidelined him in Rio qualifiers. Whispers said he'd coached inner-city kids in Denver, built programs from nothing. Humanistic, yeah, that word fit, but it didn't erase the scar. One crisp October morning, fog cloaking the park, disaster struck. I pushed too hard on hills, vision spotting black. Collapsed mid-stride, world tilting. Woke to his face hovering, panic etching lines I'd never seen. Breathe, Michael. I've got you. Paramedics, EKG at the ER. Dehydration, they said, but his eyes screamed more. Fear, raw and real. In the sterile waiting room, coffee cooling untouched, he broke. I fucked up back then. Bad. Saw you today and it's like karma's boot to the ass. I leaned against the vending machine, for drip tugging my arm. Why now? Why coach me? Because you showed up. Simple, devastating. And because I owe you more than apologies. We didn't kiss. Not yet. But as he drove me home, his beat-up Subaru smelling of Gatorade and old leather, the silence hummed with possibility. New York sprawled outside, indifferent witness. For the first time in years, I wondered if bridges could be rebuilt, not just crossed. Fall deepened, leaves carpeting the paths like confetti from a half-remembered party. The clinic evolved into something sacred, a tribe of sweat-soaked souls chasing not just distance, but distance from themselves. Alex confided in me during cool-downs about top surgery dreams. Javier, the Wall Street refugee, joked about trading derivatives for endorphins. Brandon wove us tighter, his drills laced with life lessons. Pain's not the enemy. Quitting is. I absorbed it all, notebook filling again, not with ghosts but futures. Privately, our thaw accelerated. Post-run coffees at a hole-in-the-wall on Flatbush became habit. He'd grill me on work, the ad gigs now freelancing for queer nonprofits, pitches for campaigns on mental health in the community. That's you, Michael, he'd say, stirring sugar into his black drip. Always fighting the good fight. I'd deflect with questions about him. The Denver years coaching at-risk youth in rec centers, the knee that ended his elite run. Felt like losing a limb, he admitted one drizzly afternoon, staring into his cup. But those kids? They gave it back piece by piece. Taught me winning's not podiums. It's showing up. His vulnerability chipped at my walls. Nights alone in my Astoria apartment. Rent-stabilized relic with leaky faucets. I'd replay conversations, heart-twisting. Was this redemption, or just nostalgia dressed as hope? Carla, in session, arched a brow over her glasses. Sounds like growth, hon. But don't romanticize the scar tissue. Feel it, then decide. Decide I did, impulsively. Clinic holiday party at a loft in Bushwick, string lights, spiked eggnog, a playlist heavy on Hozier and Frank Ocean. I arrived late, nerves jangling, in a button-down that actually fit. Brandon spotted me across the room, mid-laugh with Alex, and crossed over like gravity pulled him. You clean up nice, he said, voice low, eyes tracing my collarbone. Ditched the sweatbands for the night. We talked, orbiting closer, about the parade floats outside, the irony of pride commercialization. His hand brushed mine. Electricity sparked. Then the group dragged us into charades, teams dissolving into chaos. Laughter bubbled up, genuine, and in a stolen moment by the fire escape, he leaned in. Dance with me. No music reached us, just city hum, but we swayed anyway, cheek to cheek, his stubble grazing my temple. Missed this, he murmured, breath warm. Missed you. The kiss ignited slow, tentative, lips meeting like old friends, then deepening with years-hungry fervor. His hands framed my face, mine tangled in his hair. The world narrowed to that fire escape, rain pattering on metal below, New York a distant roar. We broke apart gasping, foreheads pressed. Brandon. Shoo. Just let it be. We didn't go further, not here, not rushed. But he walked me to the subway, fingers laced, promising breakfast tomorrow. Bliss followed, fragile as fresh snow. Mornings tangled in his sheets. His new place in Crown Heights, minimalist with track trophies on shelves. We'd run, then linger over omelets, trading stories like currency. He read my novel draft, eyes misty at the bridge-burning metaphors. This is us, huh? Raw as hell. I nodded, tracing his knuckles. Healing's messy, but shadows loomed. Whispers from the group. Brandon's ex, a fellow coach named Derek, back in town for a conference. Drama alert. Alex texted me, emoji bomb. I brushed it off, water under, right? Until the betrayal surfaced, sharp as shattered glass. It started innocuous. A missed run, vague texts about old business. Then, late one night, my phone buzzed. A photo from a mutual friend, tagged at a Soho bar. Brandon, arms slung around Derek's shoulders, both laughing, shots lined up. Caption: reunited and it feels so good. Track stars old flames. My stomach plummeted. Derek, the golden boy from Fordham days, the one who'd mentored Brandon through his coming out, or so the rumors went. The one who'd bailed when the scouts called, leaving Brandon to Colorado alone. Why him? Why now? I confronted him at dawn, pounding on his door as sleet lashed the streets. He opened bleary-eyed, workout gear half on. Michael? It's 5 a.m. Who's Derek? The words flew, venom-laced. His face fell, pieces slotting. Shit, it's not. Save it. I shoved the phone at him, the photo glaring. Old flames? While you're playing house with me. He raked hands through his hair, pacing the entryway. Derek's in recovery, booze wrecked his career. Reached out last week, needed a sponsor. The bar? AA meeting after party. Non-alcoholic. Harmless. Harmless. Laughter choked me. You didn't mention it. Again. Hiding, like always. That's not fair. His voice rose, defensive. I'm trying here, therapy, the clinic. Us. Derek's past. Am I? I stepped closer, voice breaking. Or am I the safe bet until something shinier runs by? Silence stretched, brutal. He deflated, shoulders slumping. I screwed up. Communication, yeah. But this? It's not that. I turned for the door, sleet mirroring tears. Feels like it. Feels like 2012 all over. The slam echoed like finality. Days blurred into radio silence. Clinic skipped, texts unread. I ran alone, pounding pavements until blisters bled, Carla's words looping. Betrayal's a teacher, not a tombstone, but grief clawed deep, old wounds reopening. Was I doomed to lose him twice? Then the call. Alex. Frantic. Coach is spiraling. Cancelled sessions, hold up. Said something about history repeating. Michael, he needs you. Against every instinct, I went. His apartment reeked of stale takeout, blinds drawn. He sat on the couch, knees to chest, looking smaller than I'd ever seen. You came. Alex guilt me. Lie, we both knew. I sat beside him, space a chasm. Talk. He exhaled, ragged. Derek wasn't just an ex. He was the first. Pushed me out of the closet, then out the door when it got real. Last week he shows up, all I've changed. And I fell for the echo. Not him, you. But the fear is there. That I'll ruin this too. I reached tentative, his hand cold in mine. Then don't. But hiding kills trust. We build it brick by brick, or not at all. He nodded, tears tracking. I'm in. All in. Forgiveness isn't linear. It's a marathon, mile by aching mile. We rebuilt slowly, couples counseling with a queer therapist in the village, mandatory check-ins over runs. Winter gripped the city, holidays a gauntlet of family calls. Mine estranged, his folks in Jersey sending passive-aggressive cards. But New Year's Eve, under the ball drop on a frozen screen in Times Square, proxies in the crowd, we toasted with hot cider. To us, he said, kissing me soft. The long haul. Spring teased early, cherry blossoms defiant against concrete. The clinic buzzed with energy. My novel found an agent, queer-lit imprint sniffing potential. Life aligned, tentative harmony. But conflict brews in calm. Brandon's past, my insecurities, the city's relentless churn. May brought the Brooklyn Half Marathon, a beast of a race snaking through borough veins, past brownstones we'd once haunted, over bridges we'd burned. The clinic signed up en masse, Brandon's pep talks firing us like pistons. This isn't about time. It's about claiming your story. For me, it was exorcism 13 miles to outrun the what-ifs. Training intensified. Tempo runs at dusk. Strength sessions in his living room with resistance bands and playlists of Springsteen anthems. Intimacy deepened, not in fireworks but quiet fires. Lazy mornings mapping tattoos on his back. A track lane curling his ribs. Relentless inked below. Evenings debating policy over tie delivery. His head in my lap as I read aloud from drafts. "Your magic, Michael," he'd murmur, fingers tracing my thigh, turning pain to prose. But undercurrents stirred. Derek lingered like a bad aftertaste. Texts popping up on Brandon's phone. "Just checking in." I swallowed jealousy, but it festered. Then, a curveball, my folks reached out, a stiff email from Ohio. "Heard you're writing. Mom's cancer's back. Stage 4. No mention of the past, just coordinates for a funeral that felt inevitable." I showed Brandon over dinner, fork hovering. "They want me there. After everything." He set down his chopsticks, eyes steady. "Go. Not for them, for you. Closure's a run you can't skip." The flight to Dayton was turbulence incarnate, mirroring my gut. The house smelled of mothballs and regret. Mom frail in her recliner, Dad's handshake limp, avoiding my eyes. Conversations skirted edges. Weather, recipes, the lifestyle glossed as city living. But in stolen moments, Mom gripped my hand. "We were scared, Mikey, of losing you to that world. But life's short. Love hard while you can." Dad grunted assent later, over weak coffee. "Your mother's right. We regret the silence." No rainbow flags, no hugs, but a crack in the wall, human, messy, enough. Back in New York, I spilled it all to Brandon on our stoop. Fireflies mocking the skyline. "It's not absolution, but it's something." He pulled me close, chin on my crown. "That's growth, babe. Yours and theirs." Emboldened, we dove deeper, volunteering at the clinic's youth outreach, coaching queer kids in the projects. Alex thrived, binders swapped for binders of college apps. Javier launched a running club for burnouts. Brandon beamed, pride paternal. This is why I stayed. Not medals, moments. Yet the half loomed like Judgment Day. Taper weak, nerves frayed. I snapped at Brandon over pacing, accusing him of babying. "I'm not fragile," he fired back. "Then stop acting like it." We cooled in separate runs. Reconciliation in a midnight bodega run for ice cream, Rocky Road, our old peace offering. Race day dawned humid, 20,000 souls pulsing at the start. Brandon kissed me fierce before corrals. "You've got this. See you at the finish." Miles melted. 1 to 5, adrenaline surge past Fort Greene. 6 to 10, wall of fatigue on the Pulaski Bridge, wind whipping doubts. At mile 11, vision blurred, not exhaustion but memory. There, in the crowd, a flash. Brandon, young and furious, shoving me away post-fight. "Done for good." I faltered, step stumbling. But then, his voice now steady. "Get up, Michael." Phantom? No, real, echoing from years ago, remade. I surged, lungs screaming, crowd a roar. Final stretch. Blue line blurring, metal heavy around my neck. Collapsed into his arms at the finish, sobbing, laughing. "I did it. You did." His kiss salt-tanged, triumphant. Afterglow faded into routine, but a new invitation shattered it. USA Track and Field Alumni Gala in Manhattan. Derek headlining as keynote on resilience in coaching. Brandon hemmed. "It's networking. For the kids program." Jealousy spiked, irrational. With him. With everyone. But his evasion stung. I went alone to a bar that night, drowning suspicions in IPAs. Texts went unanswered. Paranoia bloomed. By midnight, I cabbed to the venue. Black ties swarm at the Javits Center. Spotting them in a corner, heads bent close, Derek's hand on Brandon's arm, laughter intimate. Rage boiled. I stormed over, voice slicing. Am I interrupting? Head snapped. Derek smirked. Oily. Michael, right? The writer. Heard you're Brandon's muse these days. Fuck off. To Brandon. This your networking? Brandon stood, placating. It's nothing, old stories. Stories. Derek chuckled. Tell him about Vegas, Bran. The one where we. Brandon whirled. Shut it, Derek. But damage done. My face burned, pieces clicking. A bachelor trip last year. Prius, but whispers of more. Outside, rain lashed. We faced off under awnings. What happened in Vegas? My voice trembled. Ancient history. He reached. I flinched. A mistake. Drunk, stupid. Over before it started. But you didn't tell me. Betrayal fresh. Layered. Lies of omission, Brandon. Same as before. It's not. It is. Thunder cracked, mirroring. You push me to grow, but hide your shadows? How's that fair? He deflated, rain matting hair. I'm scared. Okay? Of losing you. Derek's poison. I cut him off tonight, for good. Words hung, insufficient. I walked away, hail nipping heels, heart a war zone. Home alone, I packed a bag, crash at a friend's in Queens. Texts pinged. Apologies, please. I silenced, curling fetal, dawn's light mocking. Clinic next day, awkward limbo. Group sensed fracture. Alex shot worried glances. Brandon coached mechanically, eyes avoiding mine. Post-session, he cornered me by the trees. Don't quit us. Not over this. I'm not quitting. Voice steel. But trust? That's earned, mile by mile. Start running it. He nodded, broken. I will. Rebuild began haltingly. Weekly check-ins. No more ex-contact. His phone open book. Vulnerability terrified him. Sessions with his therapist unearthed closets within closets. Fear of abandonment rooted in his own outed youth. A coach who'd turned predatory. I project. He confessed over takeout, voice small. Push away to avoid being pushed. I held him then, fierce. We're not kids anymore. We choose each other. Daily. Summer sweltered. City a steam bath. My novel sold small advance but queer joy lit reviews. Book launch at a cozy spot in the village. Friends toasting, Brandon beaming front row. To the man who ran toward his truth. He toasted, eyes locked on mine. We vacationed upstate. Cabin on a lake, no signal, just kayaks and campfires. Nights starlit, bodies entwined gentle, whispers of futures. Adopting someday, a co-op in the Hudson Valley, dreams, fragile but shared. Back in the grind, harmony held, until the call that cracked it wide. September's equinox brought crisp air and a letter certified from Colorado Springs. USA Track and Field. An offer for Brandon, head coach at their elite academy. Your vision aligns with ours, it read. Build the next generation. Relocate by January. He showed me over brunch in Dumbo, skyline glittering across the East River. It's huge, Michael. Funding, facilities, the works. My fork paused midair, eggs congealing. Relocate, as in, leave. Us too. Quick like ripping tape. We'd find a place. Views of the Rockies, fresh starts. But undercurrents roiled. My life rooted here. Agent meetings, launch tour kicking off, queer networks woven tight. And if I say no? His brow furrowed. It's not a cage. Visit. Commute. Commute to dreams? Bitterness seeped. Like you asked of me all those years ago? He stiffened. That's low. Is it? The cafe buzzed oblivious. Our table an island. You left once. History rhymes, Brandon. He paid the check, silent drive home. That night, lovemaking turned desperate. Clinging, not celebrating. Dawn found us staring at ceilings. I love you, he whispered. But this, it's my shot to make right what broke me. And me? Collateral? No. Hurt flashed. Partner. Talk to me. I did. Raw. Fears of resentment, of becoming the anchor that sinks. He listened, then countered with visions, joint coaching gigs, my writing retreat in the mountains. Compromise danced, tentative. But Derek's ghost resurfaced, venomous. Email to Brandon. CC me. Anonymously forwarded. Heard about the offer. Don't let the writer clip your wings again. You deserve the podium. Proof attached. Screenshots of our fights, twisted out of context, fed by God knows who. Fury ignited. He's stalking you? Brandon paled. Blocked everywhere. This is sabotage. We reported it, cyber harassment unit, restraining order filed. But poison spread. Clinic murmurs. Alex confiding Derek's bar rants about Brandon's dead-weight boyfriend. Paranoia gripped. Runs felt watched, shadows lengthening. Climax brewed at the clinic's fall showcase. A 10K relay in Central Park, sponsors milling, scouts eyeing talent. Youth teams from the outreach ran legs, our group anchoring. Excitement crackled. Brandon's energy magnetic, pre-race huddle fierce. This is legacy. Run like it matters. I anchored final leg, baton slap propelling me. Crowd cheered, families, donors, Derek lurking at the edge, face smug. Miles flew, past Bethesda fountain, lungs fire. Handoff clean, our team surged. Victory lap. Hugs, medals, Brandon lifting me high, kiss public and proud. But post-race mingle. Derek approached, suit crisp, voice oily. Congrats, coach. Too bad it's small potatoes. Academies where legends are made. Brandon's arm tightened around me. We're good here. Walk. Derek's eyes slid to me. He'll hold you back. Again. The shove was instinct. My fist connecting with his jaw, crack echoing. Gasps rippled. Security swarmed. Brandon pulled me off, face ashen. Michael, stop. Cops came, statements taken. Derek pressed charges. Assault, misdemeanor but stain. Headlines trickled. Gay coach's lover in scuffle at park event. Clinic donors wavered. Youth parents pulled kids. Home, storm raging. You could have ruined everything. Brandon yelled, pacing. The program, the trust. Me, I roared back, adrenaline crashing to despair. He threatened us. And you defending him? After all, I was de-escalating. His voice broke. But violence? That's not you. Not us. Words weaponized. Accusations flew. My jealousy fueling recklessness. His ambition blinding empathy. You're choosing the dream over me, I accused. Again. He froze, gutted. No, but if you can't see we're a team, maybe I am. The door closed soft that night, he crashed on the couch. Morning brought coffee, apologies. But fracture deepened. Counseling strained. Runs parallel, not tandem. Derek's case dragged. Community outcry flipped it. Charges dropped amid his history unearthed. Past harassment suits. Vindication hollow. November chilled. My tour ramped. Readings in Boston, Philly, sold-out queer bookstores. Brandon tagged along once. Proud but distant. Missed the fire, he admitted in a Philly hotel, rain sheeting windows. Me too. We made love slow, reclaiming, but dawn brought the decision. He accepted the job. 6-month trial. You stay, right? We video date, weekend flights. Long distance redux. Heart screamed no, but logic whispered try. Okay, I said, kissing him fierce at JFK. But promise, no ghosts. Swear. His hug bone crush. Separation carved hollows call stuttered. Time zones. Exhaustion. My book climbed charts. Interviews probing the lost love chapter. Veiled Brandon. His updates. Academy kids thriving, but loneliness laced. Christmas. He flew back. Tree trimming in my apartment. Ornaments from our first year dusted off. This is home, he said, bauble in hand. But January thawed illusions. A call mid-run, his voice tight. Derek's here. Hired as assistant. Politics. I couldn't block it. Betrayal tsunami. You promised. I know. Panic edged. It's temporary. Please. No. Line dead. I boarded the red eye, landing in Denver snow-whipped. Confrontation at the track. Him in whistle, kids drilling laps. Michael? What? Us ends here. Words steel, heart pulp. Choose your dreams. I'll chase mine. He chased me to the cab, snow veiling tears. Don't. We can. Too late. Door shut. Airport bound. Back in New York. Eviscerated. Clinic dissolved, me stepping in interim, honoring the kids. Book sequel poured out. Cathartic bleed. Carla nodded. By kitsch, but yours to author. Months staggered. Spring equinox. A letter from Brandon. I quit. Derek's poison spread. I saw it clear. Coming home, for real. If you'll have me. Heart ward. Forgive? Or free? April bloomed riotous. Central Park, a riot of tulips mocking my barren chest. The letter sat on my nightstand, creased from rereads. Brandon's scrawl earnest, laced with excerpts from his own journal. Regrets etched in ink, visions of amends. I lost us chasing shadows, he wrote. But light's in you, Michael. Always was. I didn't reply. Therapy became confessional. Part of me wants to bolt. Part craves the rebuild. Carla lit a menthol, exhaling wisdom. Humanity's in the mess. Han. Love isn't perfect. It's persistent. Clinic kids anchored me. Alex's surgery fund we crowdfunded. Javier's club expanding to Bronx Rex runs became sermons. Fall down. Get up. That's the stride. Echoes of him unbidden. Then, unannounced. Mother's Day Eve, doorbell. There he stood, duffel at feet. Snowmelt dripping from boots, though spring ruled East Coast, his from lingering Rockies chill. Leaner, eyes haunted hollows, heard about Alex's op. Had to see. I blocked the threshold, pulse thunder. How? Mutual friends. Clinic feed. Pause searching. Can I? Explain? Against sense, I stepped aside. Coffee brewed black. We sat at my scarred table, ghosts thick. He unpacked. Quitting mid-semester. Fallout with board over Derek's scandals. Fired post-investigation. Karma's bite. Wandered couch-surfed house. Ran trails till blisters wept. Wrote you letters, burned most. This one's survivor. I traced the envelope's edge. Why now? Because running alone's empty. Voice cracked. I need my partner. If you'll coach me back. Laughter escaped. Bittersweet. Tables turned, huh? We talked till midnight, unvarnished. His fears. Repeating abandonment cycles. Learned from Derek's echo. Mine. Scars too deep. Trust a fragile lace. No promises, just honesty. He crashed on the couch. Morning brought bagels. Tentative thaw. Reentry slow burn. He sublet nearby. Bed stewy walk up. Volunteering at the clinic without title. Earning trust lap by lap. Group-eyed wary. Then warmed. Javier clapping his back post-drill. Alex dubbing him zombie coach with grin. My novel sequel drafted feverish. Chapters weaving our fracture into fiction. Betrayal as catalyst, not curse. Intimacy crept. A hand on my back during stretches. Shared glances over water breaks. One humid June dusk. Post-run on the reservoir path. Sunset bleeding orange. He stopped me. Michael, I love you. Not the idea, the man. Flaws? Fire all. Breath caught. I cupped his jaw, thumb tracing stubble. Prove it. Daily. Kiss sealed it, soft, then searing, years weight lifting. We tumbled home. Bodies rediscovering like cartographers. Gentle maps. No rush. Just presence. After. Tangled sheets. His heartbeat drum under my ear. Home, he murmured. But humanism demands trials. Summer scorched with mine. Mom's passing, quiet. Hospice bed in Dayton. Dad's call curt but cracked. She asked for you, son. Flight west. Brandon insistent. I'm going too. Funeral pews stiff with kin. Cousins whispering. Aunts air kissing. Dad's eulogy stumbled. She loved fierce. Regretted silent. Post-service, graveside, he pulled me aside. Your mother's last words. Tell Mikey we're proud. Of his words, his heart. Handshake evolved to hug. brief but bone deep. Brandon. He seems solid. Back east. Grief work. Runs turning meditative. Brandon's arms steady anchor. Loss reshapes, he said, over Pyregees in Greenpoint, but doesn't define. His redemption arc paralleled. Academy fallout led to podcast invites. Queer athletes on mental health vulnerability viral. Offers trickled. Consulting gigs, no relos. Staying put, he declared at a clinic barbecue, grill smoke curling. New York's got my heart and my home. Fall foliage framed deepening roots. We merged leases, my Astoria to his bed Stewie. Compromise in Crown Heights hybrid. Sunlit loft with park views, bookshelves mingling spikes. Domesticity bloomed. Grocery lists pinned fridge, Sunday roasts burning, his specialty. Movie nights debating Nolan plots. Yet, climax's echo lingered, Derek's shadow manifesting in a final twist. October mail. Lawsuit threat. Defamation from the gala dust-up. Slander ruined my rep. His lawyer droned over phone. Brandon paled. I gripped his hand. Fight it. Legal tango ensued. Affidavits from witnesses. Clinic testimonials painting Derek's toxicity. Hearing in Brooklyn courthouse. Sterile benches. Judge no nonsense. Derek testified slick. Victim playing. Our side countered with evidence. Emails. Suits unearthed. Verdict. Dismissed. His countersuit for harassment greenlit. Outside. Autumn gusts swirling. Brandon exhaled. Over. Not quite. I pulled him close, courthouse steps our stage. But us? Just beginning. Resolution whispered humanistic. No tidy bows, but growth's quiet bloom. Clinic expanded scholarships for queer youth, runs for mental health orgs. My book tour wrapped with a signing in the park. Brandon emceeing, voice proud. This man's not just survivor, he's storyteller. Winter solstice. We hosted solstice run. Torches lighting paths, group chanting cheers. Finish line bonfire, mulled wine steaming. There, under stars pricking city haze, Brandon knelt, not ring but vow. No podiums, no relos, just you, me, the miles ahead. Partners. Tears blurred. I hauled him up, kissing fierce. Hell yes. But humanism tempers joy. Dad's card arrived. Holiday, with photo of mom's garden. Note. Healing takes time. Visit. Bridge extended. Tentative. New Year dawn gentle. Resolutions scrawled joint. Write daily. Run weekly. Love louder. Life's not epic always. It stitches in fabric. Phrase. Men's. Patterns emerging. Yet, in quiet moments. His snores soft. My pen scratching. I knew. We'd lost once, but found twice. Stronger, scarred, whole. Spring 2026 unfurled like forgiveness. Slow, insistent, petals pushing through concrete. Our loft became sanctuary. Morning light slanting across rumpled duvets. Coffee brewing to the sizzle of tofu scrambles. His latest obsession? Post-vegan trial. Runs wove routine, prospect loops at dawn. Breath sinking like old code. Feel that? He'd pant, hill cresting. Us unstoppable. Work bloomed parallel. My third book contract, weaving clinic tales into tapestry. Queer resilience, no sugarcoat. Readings packed houses. Q and his delving. Betrayals forge. I'd say. Glancing at Brandon in the wings. Hammers you, but shapes steel. His gigs steadied podcast series Stride Stories. Interviewing sidelined athletes on reinvention. It's not comeback, he told one guest, voice earnest. It's reroute. Community knit tighter. Alex's college send-off party. Binders swapped for dorm boxes. Hugs fierce. You two goals. They whispered, rainbow cake slicing. Javier's club franchised, Harlem chapter launching. Us as godparents of grit. But life's humanism insists on shadows. Dad's visit, unannounced June weekend. Airport pickup awkward. His rental Impala gleaming, Midwestern polish clashing our urban grit. Dinner at a farm-to-table in Williamsburg. Small plates, stilted chat. Nice city, he ventured, forking kale. Busy. Brandon bridged. Track tails, clinic wins. Dad thawed incremental, laughing at a youth mishap story, eyes softening on me. Your mod loved this book stuff. Sent her a copy, dog-eared now. Post-meal walk. East River Esplanade. Ferries tooting. He stopped, hands jammed pockets. I read the dedication. To bridges burned and rebuilt. That us? Throat tight, I nodded. Yeah. He clapped my shoulder, grip firm. Proud son. Finally saying it. No more needed. Silence spoke volumes. Brandon's past surfaced gentler. Olympics anniversary. TV reruns of Rio heats. We watched curled on couch, his commentary wry. Chased ghosts there. Found em here. Hand in mine, we switched to comedies, escape, not dwell. Summer zenith. Clinic's big fundraiser. 5K through boroughs. Celebs pounding pavement. Proceeds to youth housing. We co-chaired, me wrangling sponsors, him drilling paces. Race day chaos joyful. Start line thrum. Finish tape snapping. Post-victory. Stage mics hot. Brandon's speech. Unscripted gold. Running's metaphor, folks. For love, loss, the get-up. Tonight we honor that, in every stride. Crowd hooped. His eyes found mine, unspoken vow. After-party loft crawl. Dances impromptu, toast sloshing. Midnight, balcony perch, city lights winking. 1 year, he murmured, arm round waist. Since the kneel. Since choosing. Kiss lazy, skyline witness. Autumn harvested abundance. Book 2 launch, hybrid event. Park run morphing reading. Crowd hybrid huffing pages. Reviews glowed. A testament to queer endurance. Romantic, raw, real. Agent buzzed expansions. Hollywood nibbles for screen adapt. But pinnacle personal. Thanksgiving, dad flew east. Full table, clinic crew crammed in. Turkeys, tofu alt, pies piled, stories sprawling. Dad carved, joking lopsided. Brandon passed mash, winking. Toasts circled. Gratitude's litany. Mine. To family, blood. Chosen, mended. Holidays hummed. Tree in the loft, ornaments laden memory. Our first, clinic medals, Alex's Polaroid. New Year's quiet. Rooftop toast, champagne fizzing. Resolutions? He asked, bubbles on lip. Same, you words, Miles. Ditto. Fireworks cracked distant. We made wishes silent. Winter wrapped gentle. Snow blanketing runs, breaths clouding prayers. Valentine's. No flash. Picnic in the park. Blankets spread. Thermoses steaming. He unpacked sketchpad. My old habit borrowed. Doodling us. Stick figures mid-stride. Hearts for heads. Our story, he said. Doodles to epic. Laughter bubbled. I added balloons, dreams floating. Climax's scar faded, but lessons etched. Love's not conquest, but co-creation. Betrayals? Teachers forging empathy. In quiet we'd reflect. Couch confessions. Remember Vegas? Turning punchline, not poison. One April dawn, post-run haze, he stopped me trailside. Marry me? For real? Rings, vows, the works. Heart soared. Yes tumbled easy. Yes. Planning bloomed. Small ceremony, park pavilion, queer officiant, clinic as choir. Vows handwritten, mine. You ran into my wreckage. I run with you still. His. Lost you once. Found forever. Day arrived golden. Suits slim, flowers wild, group encircling. Rings exchanged simple, silver bands. Engraved, relentless together. Kiss sealed, cheers erupted. Cake smashed faces, joy messy. Honeymoon local. Hudson cabin, trails hiked hand-clasped, nights firelit tales. Back, life amplified. Adoption papers filed, baby steps to family. Years montage, clinic empire, books trilogy, dad's visits annual garden tours. Us. Silver threads in hair, knees creaky but strides synced. Runs slower but stories richer. Humanistic close. No perfection, but profundity. In New York's roar, 2 men, scarred, soaring. chose each other. Daily. Fiercely. Home. Epilogue whisper. Twilight jog. Alex, now coach, pacing us. You too, legend. We grin, hands brushing. Just runners, Brandon says. But I know legends in love, pushing toward men we could be. Together,